this is the start of episode 3 of the DevDecoder podcast.
Hello.
Who have we got here today? Well, obviously my name is Craig Dean. I'm the Chief Executive of Web Applications, and with me we have Ramona.
Oh, Ramona
Want to
today.
introduce yourself?
I'm Ramona, apparently. And I'm in the marketing team at Web Applications.
Have I found a name you like?
I do quite like Ramona. That's a nice name.
Good start to this week. Looking forward to seeing what we hear about. You're listening to DevDecoder podcast. You can find us on all the major podcasting platforms.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at DevDecoder.
You can email us using podcast@devdecoder.com.
Or check out our website at devdecoder.com. Okay, so my first topic is what's called sharenting.
Just let's get this right. Sharenting.
Sharenting. Not something else that you're thinking of. Sharenting.
Sharenting.
Yeah. Do you have any
Sounds like
idea
Ali
what
G,
it is?
doesn't it? Sharenting.
Oh my god.
Is Ali G not topical? Is it too old?
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen, wasn't he? I think that's who did
I
it.
don't think I've ever seen Ali G. I know who he is. Ali G in the house.
Yeah, he did all that newer stuff, didn't he? Like The Dictator or whatever.
See, you say Ali G, I'm just thinking Borat.
Yeah, Borat.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sacha Baron Cohen or whatever.
I feel like I should know that.
Yeah. He also played Fernandir in Les Mis, the movie.
I've seen it on theatre.
Yeah. Anyway, so sharenting.
Sharenting.
Yeah.
So, what do you think it is?
It sounds like a group of parents get together and share the children.
Not quite. I mean, you're close. Okay, you're not close.
Not close. It definitely sounds like something I have zero interest in, so I'm hoping there's going to be something interesting about this.
Not really.
Okay.
So it's parents that share a lot of personal information about the children on social media, therefore opening them up to fraud.
Yeah, people that overshare. This is about oversharing parents. Yes. Right, I think we've all been victim of that, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've all been victim both as children of parents and as seeing people, having friends who are parents.
Or parents who have dogs. My mum shares all information about our dogs.
And see, I have some sympathy for this because I don't really know what social media's purpose should be other than to share innocuous things about things that don't matter. So for me, sharing pictures of my dogs is the main thing I use Facebook for, because there's no way I can really offend anybody with that or do anything that I'm not giving out too much information. Everybody knows that we have B&Bo. Everyone likes B&Bo. Well, at least most people. Don't give me that. You love B&Bo.
I do.
So we have, and I think putting pictures of B&Bo up on social media is a fairly safe thing for me to do. Whereas, telling people about my ingrowing toenail or something, which I don't have, I'm just using by way of example.
You sure?
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not. Or telling about my latest health issue or something. Always seems like a bit too much information to be putting online.
Well, it's been in the news a lot, especially like the past week, that it's opening the children up to fraud and identity theft when they're older. But is somebody going to wait 18 years before like stealing their identity? That's really committed.
I think you're forgetting that Facebook's been around for over 10 years now. So you're actually starting to see young people that are now becoming young adults who have had large proportions of their lives shared on social media. And so the impact of it is now becoming an issue. And I don't think it's a case of someone sat there waiting, look, I've got this information by this 8-year-old, wait another 10 to 15 years and that'll be really valuable. I think what they're doing is they're going and finding information about young people that are now adults, but that information is still there, it's still online and still accessible.
I don't document a lot on Facebook these days. Like I used to do it in like uni quite a lot. I put up a lot of statuses. I don't do anything. Well, Instagram, I put pictures and I check myself in if I'm going on holiday because obviously, nobody knows you're going on holiday.
I mean, I don't stalk your Instagram.
That's a lie.
I don't stalk any Instagram. Vivian has to make me go and check Instagram because I always forget. And she's like, why have you not liked my pictures? And I'm like, So I go on about once a week when Vivian complains about me having not liked a picture, and I just go through and just randomly like all the pictures of everyone. And then she's like, don't do that because people think you're weird because you're liking a picture like a week after it happened. I'm like, I mean, check it once a week. What am I supposed to do? But having seen you on Instagram, I mean, most of the most inappropriate pictures
I've never put up an inappropriate picture
on Instagram are largely yours.
I have never put up an inappropriate picture.
You did put one of a tattoo up there recently.
Can I just say that this was a picture of a tattoo on my side, so that you can't see anything in this picture except my side, and apparently that's inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what is and isn't appropriate these days.
You still liked it though?
Because I'm not sure as I just pressed, and then I'm like, should I have liked that picture? Wait, see, a picture of B or Bo is safe for people to like without any anxiety.
Are you saying you get anxiety over liking people's pictures?
Yeah, I'm like, should I be liking this picture or not? I don't know. I mean, I don't know the social etiquette of Instagram. I probably should know better. Which is more appropriate to use or which isn't. But yeah, I don't know. I do think there is a danger of oversharing someone else's information, and particularly a child. I think if you know that you're responsible for that child, one, you need to be creating good habits for them. They need to be conscious of how dangerous it is putting the information just out there online. We should all be a bit more cognizant about what it is, and in control about what it is we allow to be put into the public. I mean, as I have quite a few followers, and I do know people look and will retweet what I say and comment on the things that I've said. I have to be a lot more cautious about what kind of things I say, and I'm very careful not to put, veiled comments and stuff like that online.
Well, there was an advert a while ago, and it showed how easy it was for somebody to steal somebody's identity. Do you remember that one?
I didn't see the advert, but I know the campaign, yeah.
It was one woman, and she had a picture in front of her first house, so they took the number of the house, and then she was at a meal and she had a credit card on the table, and they zoomed in and got all the details and stuff. It just shows how easy it is to steal someone's identity and be a victim of fraud.
Yeah, and you're increasingly seeing this. I mean, even in the last year, the uptick in phishing attempts and in fraud attempts has really been a marked increase, and they're getting more and more sophisticated. I mean, I know a lot of companies, including our own, where people have obviously been stalking social media and have written to pretend to be one of the managing directors or one of the chief execs or one of the directors, knowing that director was away on a conference that day. It's not been on social media. They must have got that off the delegate list. And so there's people going to things like events, conferences and stuff like that, looking who's on the list, going, okay, there's a financial director here from such a company. Write to that company pretending to be that financial director and asking for some money, saying, can you... And they're really sophisticated attacks. We're seeing a lot more of this. So now you're seeing a lot of really, they're gone on the Nigerian prince, or I still do occasionally get emails off Nigerian prince. But, it's not that kind of really blatantly obvious stuff anymore. They're a lot more clever. Yeah. They'll often write to pretend to be your parents, and they'll know information about your parents. They'll use that to sell the attempt and to sell the fraud. And I think the problem is the more information you put out there, the more you open up yourself to that kind of attack. I think the other side of this as well is being really cautious and just checking, is this right? Is this from somebody I know? And is it their email address? And you can tell by the way that they've signed off, they might have said, best regards, whereas normally that person always says yours or something similar. And if it's just doing a sanity check and saying, is this really a person that I've got? But yeah, we're living in a world where identity theft and fraud is increasingly common. We all need to be more aware of it. And I think, if we're responsible for someone else, we have to be careful we're not making decisions for them. And this is particularly true of children. Well,
somebody put a tweet up about that was against sharenting. Yeah. And she said it's not your decision what you do for your child. Like, your child doesn't have a say in it. Yeah. So they can't tell you not to do it unless they know what you're actually doing.
But at the same time, I've got friends who post pictures of their babies and their young kids and stuff, and they're good friends, man, and I do like to see how they're doing. I like to see that they're having a nice day, or that something funny's happened, like they've got ice cream on their face, or the sun's out and they're wearing sunglasses and things like that. And I like being a part of my friends' lives like that, and their children's lives. And I think that's where it's appropriate. I think, to be honest, I have a much bigger issue with sharenting when you're sharing playing on public social media. One of the things that Facebook have done a lot better recently, despite a lot of the criticisms, is they are making it really visible, your privacy controls. Even when you're posting, they're saying to you, this is going to be posted to friends and friends of friends, or posted to the public, or posted just direct friends, or you can even set yourself small groups like close family and only include those in the posting. And I think people just need to pay attention to that more and go, okay, if I'm taking a little picture of my child and stuff, maybe I'll only circulate this to my close friends or to my family or to, a much more limited set, but I certainly won't just put it publicly on a public post. And I think that's acceptable. I think that's a good use of social media.
I think everyone should have it on private anyway. If you want to see updates from somebody, then add them as a friend. I don't see the point in putting everything on public.
Yeah, I mean, there's cases, like for our company Facebook post, we obviously want to put stuff public there because it's for people to discover us. So there's uses for public stuff. But I think you're right. I think for certainly pictures and things like that, people should be really asking, why am I letting anybody and strangers just see this information? It should only be people that I've accepted as a friend or somebody that I know. I shouldn't be just sticking this stuff out publicly. Right. So, have you heard about Fortnite?
I have.
What do you know about Fortnite?
I've seen it in the news.
You've seen it in the news?
Yeah.
Well, this year is supposed to be topical, so that's a good start. So, what have you seen about it in the news?
I'm trying to find a way to put it. So they're bringing out a different way of playing the game.
That's also in the news, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Do you know what the game is?
It's a fighting game.
So it's basically a survival game where you can find resources and build things, and then it's a bit like a first-person shooter as well. So you can build things and you compete against people, and it's very competitive. So you're put on a map and you have to basically compete for resources and fight each other.
Like RuneScape?
Yeah, welcome to 2007. But yeah, it's more kind of like Minecrafty, but more building up blocky, and first-person shooter like Call of Duty and things like that, but all kind of merged into one. It's very popular at the moment. The reason it's in the news today is because Epic, who make Fortnite, have just announced a pot of £100 million for competitions over the next year. So they're going to be holding. They haven't gone into details yet to talk about what kind of competitions. Is this going to be one big world competitions with the pot being 100 million for the whole competition, or is this going to be a whole bunch of small regional competitions? What, we don't know that, but they're investing 100 million pounds into eSports for Fortnite. And so the question I have for you is, are you aware of eSports yet? Have you come across any eSports?
Yeah, when I was little and it comes up with that logo.
I think you're thinking of like EA Sports.
Oh yeah, I am thinking of EA Sports.
No. So eSports,
it's in the game.
It's in the game. That's it. Well done. Branding has worked on you. EA, the big corporate gaming monster that it is, has managed to get it into the zeitgeist enough that it's permeated into your thought process. No, eSports is basically electronic sports. So it's about people playing gaming competitions professionally. So there are lots of big. Call of Duty is a big one. Dota is a huge one. There's a load of these games increasingly out there that people are playing competitively and winning prize pots. And even especially in parts of Asia, China, Japan, Thailand, these are televised. People actually watch them, just like we'd go and watch like football on TV or netball if you're a netball fan like me, or basketball or baseball or American football. Or football as they call it, they don't use the feet, so what the hell's that about? Esports is something people are increasingly watching. And what kind of games would you enjoy watching other people play?
I don't think I'd enjoy watching other people play games. I think I'd want to get involved. I'd just be swearing at everyone for doing stuff wrong. Like in horror films, when you're like, don't go through that door, don't do it.
Why do they do that?
They always do it, even
just
though,
leave. I mean, it's like, there's clearly something going on here. It's not a good place to be. Plenty of nice places to be in the world. Just leave. Walk away. Don't look back. Don't let the person in. Someone knocking on your door. It's 2:00 in the morning. Probably not going to be something you want to talk to.
That'd be me if I was watching somebody play games.
Why are you doing? Well, do you like watch the Olympics and things?
No.
So you just don't watch sports at all?
I watch some. Like, for some reason, I'm interested in snooker. So it's the most boring game to watch.
My gran was passionately in love with snooker. So clearly you're just old before your time.
My dad's always like, oh, should we turn it over? And I'm like, oh no, leave this on.
I quite like snooker. I think it's the calm voice as people approach the table. Yeah.
I'm just one of those people, like, instead of watching it, I'd like to actually like get involved and like do it.
Let's get stuck in.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I have a lot of sympathy with that view. I'm not a big watcher of sports. I much prefer to play them or be involved in it, engaged. Yeah. I do think it'd be interesting though. I think you should try and have a watch. Have you heard of Twitch?
No.
See, so Twitch is the main place people go to watch esports. You can watch loads of stuff on there. There's a lot of really good Twitch TV channels. A lot of people putting content up on Twitch TV. It's the main place people go to watch episodic stuff or things other than YouTube, but it's for live streaming Twitch. So a lot of people watch live streamed things on it.
Can you hear them talking in like the microphones and stuff?
Well, so for a lot of the esports, they'll show you like the screens of the players, and then they'll have commentators commenting over the top of it. But on Twitch, a lot of people live stream their own games. So people will like put a picture of themselves in the bottom corner with a headset on talking whilst they're actually playing the game and stuff like that. It's incredibly popular. People actually do this as a living. So people will actually get donations to them and patrons and stuff, and people will watch them streaming and donate money to them and stuff for playing a game. Especially popular Twitchers. So have you not come across Twitch at all?
I've never come across it. I've never even heard of it.
Definitely something you should probably go and take a look at.
I want to listen to them like swear at each other and stuff. That's what I'd enjoy. I'd find that hilarious.
Allegedly community rules in terms of like Twitch rules, like you're not supposed to swear and you're not supposed to show inappropriate tattoo positions on, it's not Instagram.
It's not inappropriate. I went home and I said to my boyfriend, I was like, is this picture inappropriate? And he was like, no, you can't see anything. I was like, thank you.
Earlier, Rebecca and I were talking to Vicky Harvey from Salford University, where she's pursuing her PhD, and we were having a long-ranging conversation about employability and young people and the industry in general. She had a really interesting story about how she ended up where she is now, another quite a long-ranging route, quite diverse, and I felt it was something that'd be very interesting for our listeners, so we'll have that now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. My name's Vicky Harvey. I'm a PhD student and associate lecturer at the University of Salford. So I teach human resources and strategy, but my interest in employability has come from my previous work experience. Originally I did biology and biochemistry at university with an industrial placement year, interestingly. So I think my thinking has been influenced right from an early point. It was in agricultural field trials. I'm not clearly working in agricultural field trials today. Went to work ultimately for the Forensic Science Service for 10 years. I worked as a trainer in a large programme for expansion of the National DNA Database. I then became the operations manager of the National DNA Database and a Home Office liaison and things like that. And then public sector started to change. I thought, what could I do? I went back to university and did an MBA and learnt lots of kind of reverse kind of engineering, really, in terms of, that's what I was trying to do. That's what this person says about it. Okay, but I know why that didn't work. And I mentioned before about the reflection, so a lot of reflection came from that. Got the opportunity to do some teaching and did my teaching qualification at the university at Salford, and was able to kind of work a lot more on the topics that I enjoy, and in order to be able to get a permanent role, I need a PhD. But this is something I was able to kind of make the decision for myself. I funded myself, and this is where I wanted to kind of look at and kind of that employability and sort of trying to get that kind of student voice in. So that's where it's come from, really.
What I like about your story is it's also a really important model for students. There, it's not such thing as job for life, or even career for life.
Well, this is I'm often cautious of trying to sort of push my my story onto students, but actually I think I've come to realise that it's kind of interesting. I've not done this direct route into academia. I've not done this direct route into business and management education either. I've actually come from quite a route. And
I think actually humanising stories is really important for young people. They don't want to just hear some fear. They want to hear about a life story and practical stuff. So one of the reasons I like to go and talk to universities is I get to tell them about my own route as well. It's very, very, and let's say it's not unusual. It's very normal. You know, I started off doing one thing, ended up doing another thing, ended up living in Africa, ended up doing all these other things, all these other steps and stuff. And I'm only 42 and I've had like 5 careers. So the idea that you can qualify yourself for your career at university is just fundamentally stupid. It doesn't work like that.
No. Again, I think that's kind of where my interest comes in this, because it's kind of that shift to where we are today. I'm genuinely concerned as to how.
I think we over-specialise as a society, and it's no longer applicable. Over-specialisation just doesn't work. One of the things that we tell all our new starters here, first-time workers, and it's not all graduates, there's a mix, but people that have not previously worked in this kind of context before, don't have work experience to the same extent, is that up until this point in their lives, everyone around them has been paid to see them succeed.
Yes.
Now that they're entering the workforce, they're being paid to make others succeed, and that's a huge changing worldview that they're not equipped for.
And one of the things that they've said in terms of what they understand employability to be, what it means for them, is about not just about getting a job, but it is about confidence, being able to fit in an organisation. And I think this underlines an awful lot of what you're saying. It's a persona aspect as well as a confidence aspect, and building confidence is something that's been a big part of what they've said. In fact, I'm fairly confident in saying that I don't think there's anybody that I've interviewed from the 10 so far is that they haven't mentioned that idea of confidence and how to build it.
We don't need it, and it doesn't benefit. I mean, it works in 2 ways. One, specialisation doesn't create better results. We've seen that in academia, where it's now about despecialisation. You're saying you get the most interesting discoveries when they work cross-curricular and different departments interact. You get the most interesting stuff occurring. And then in the other way is that you can't, all specialisation, not only does it blind you to other things, it leaves you to be typecast in a way that means you're unflexible for the modern workplace.
Mine is about self-driving cars.
Oh, Tesla have been in the news a lot recently.
Yes, so they've had some problems with their cars.
The brakes, I believe.
Brakes haven't been working. A guy was killed because his car veered off into like a lake or something, and they don't know whether it was in like automatic or whether he was actually driving it. And then there was another one where a guy set it to self-driving and then he crashed. That scares me. This whole self-driving thing scares the hell out of me.
So here's one of those things, okay? So, do you know what the most safe form of travel is?
Walking.
No, actually it's not, no.
Train.
No.
Tram.
No.
Plane.
Planes, yeah. But lots of people are afraid to fly out.
Yeah.
Because I think there's 2 big reasons why people are afraid to fly. And one of the reasons is because when a plane goes down, it's normally everyone dies and there's probably about 150 people killed. Right? So it's a big disaster. One plane going down, lots of people dead. And I think the second reason is because when things go badly wrong, you have no control over the situation. You're just a passenger.
I think as well that some people don't understand how a plane actually flies. Like, they don't understand the concept of going into the air and then, like, how is it actually?
Yeah, but ultimately, statistically, you're far less likely to die in a plane than any other form of transport, right? Even walking, I think, is more dangerous because you can be hit by a car, and stuff like that, right? Far more pedestrians are killed a year than people die in plane crashes across the world, and it's it's just not that likely. But because you have one plane crash every now and then and it kills a bunch of people are terrified of flying. But it's incredibly safe compared to any other form of transport. Just the statistics, you're less likely to die that way than any other. Now, I think
this is a very deep topic.
Well, I think this explains the problem and the thing about self-driving cars. That statistically, you dying in an accident or being being hurt in an accident in a self-driving car is much, much, much lower than you've been hurt in a car that you're driving. Right? You're far more likely to have an accident as driving yourself than having the car drivers.
Yeah, but touch wood, I've never had an accident.
Well, that's a false argument. But yeah, I think ultimately it'll come down to practicality, and people will put convenience ahead of that. And as self-driving cars become more and more convenient, people will want to use them. I don't know if you remember, like last year we were at the Chamber Awards dinner, and they had one of those Teslas.
They did have one.
Do you remember that? Did you go in it?
I didn't go in it.
Because they were giving people a chance to get in it and get driven around Manchester, like quite high speed.
I think I was already drunk, so I think I would have thrown up in the car.
Why does that not surprise me? I did. It's funny you mentioned that, because I did get in that Tesla, but it had a bit of a weird smell, a bit of an Elon Musk.
Oh my god, that was really bad. That was really bad.
Why are you laughing then? So join us next week, where we're going to be hearing even more about tech news, probably more about what goes in the wonderful brain of Raquel.
I thought it was called Ramona.
That's next week.
Oh, but we've already been Raquel. Raquel was last week.
Or is it Ramona this week?
Oh my god.
So join us next week, where Ramona will probably be replaced by some other sufficiently named R person.
Hopefully another nice name.
I can't promise that.